Yeah. Nice to meet you.
These are all our members. Mrs. Arunamani, she's Malagang, she's Susan, and she's Puspanaik. These are all of our women, Matasanga. And one of our senior members, Sarojita. Oh, that's lovely.
Namaste and Istanbul Vinaka. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to make a special mention of the men who are here today. It's a great indication of the support that our women, our girls need to advance in this world of uncertainty and inequality overall for women. A very warm welcome to you all, and it is indeed a great pleasure for me to be here this afternoon and celebrate the International Women's Day. I stand before you mindful of the historical significance of this day, a day when more than a century ago, courageous women took to the streets demanding better working conditions, peace, and bread for themselves and their families. On this day, we salute all the women from all walks of life for their achievements. We acknowledge the contribution of women in the economic, social, and political development. More importantly, this day is about looking ahead at the opportunities waiting to be tapped to foster greater women empowerment and development in our country. Each year, International Women's Day is celebrated on March the 8th. The first International Women's Day was held in 1911. Thousands of events occurred to mark the economic, political, and social achievements of women. Organizations, governments, charities, educational institutions, women's groups, corporations, and the media celebrate the day. All around the world, International Women's Day represents an opportunity to celebrate the achievements of women while calling for greater equality. It is an occasion to review how far we have come as women as we strive for equality, peace, and development. It is also an opportunity to unite, network, and mobilize for meaningful change. The 2015 theme for International Women's Day, Make It Happen, encourages effective action for advancing and recognizing the status of women. The UN theme for International Women's Day 2015 is Empowering Women, Empowering Humanity. Picture it. It envisions a world where each woman and girl can exercise her choices, such as participating in politics, getting an education, having an income, living in societies free from violence and discrimination, and indeed, having the choice to be in the boxing ring if they want to. This year's International Women's Day will highlight the Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action, a historic roadmap signed by 189 governments, including our own government 20 years ago, that sets the agenda for realizing women's rights. Equality for women and men is progress for everyone in our nation, young and old. It leads to inclusive growth, reduces poverty, and contributes to peace and security. While there have been many achievements since then, many serious gaps remain. This is the time to uphold women's achievements, recognize challenges, and focus greater attention on women's rights and gender equality, and mobilize all people to do their part, especially women. In Fiji, women comprise 49% of the total population, and on this note, the government continues to provide the support and strengthen partnership with relevant stakeholders for advancement of the status of women in this country. International Women's Day is a time to reflect on progress made. to call for change, and to celebrate acts of courage and determination by ordinary women who have played an extraordinary role in the history of their countries and communities. We have come a long way since women made these demands, but we have yet to achieve what they have started. Since the first International Women's Day, we have witnessed an unprecedented improvement in women's rights worldwide and even in our country. Girls are going to school, women are entering the labor market, women are taking up positions of leadership, and women are living longer compared to men. That's because they don't drink as much alcohol and grog as men do, I guess. A century ago, only 2 countries allowed women to vote. Today, that right is nearly universal, and more women are now members of parliament compared to yesteryears. Fiji's latest democratic election is a great example of how the number of women in political leadership has increased over the years. Today, more than 125 countries have outlawed violence against women, and constitutions of more than 139 countries guarantee women's rights and zero discrimination, including Fiji's 2013 constitution. But despite these gains, the world is still underperforming on gender equality, and a large gap remains between laws and their implementation. Women do not access the same rights and opportunities as men. In Fiji, we have ensured the protection of women's rights through our laws, policies, and commitments to regional and international agreements for achieving gender equality. The implementation is where the hurdle lies. It is work in progress, and it is with a cohesive and united front that we can all work together with men, politicians, government, and stakeholders to push this agenda further. While education opportunities in Fiji is equally open to both males and females, we would like to see this happening in all other areas of life, especially in the area of employment. In Fiji, increasing number of women are finding employment, but many of these working women are concentrated in lower positions compared to men, and also in low-paid jobs, such as in garment factories, clerical jobs, cleaners, etc. Only 8 women made it to parliament. The alarming figures of criminal acts committed against women and girl children, the ongoing challenges faced by women and girls to access basic services like safe drinking water and safe streets. Every woman and girl deserves to feel safe, to be respected, to be protected. I want to pay tribute to those communities in Fiji who have embraced government's commitment to eliminate violence and have joined in the campaign to eradicate domestic violence. 68 communities are leading by example, and the rest of the country needs to fall in line to this bold commitment. I also commend the women who fight all odds to prove that they are capable of supporting their needs and the needs of their families and working alongside men, deserving the same rights and respects as men. We need an urgent revolution in the attitude of men towards women. For too long, some Fijian men have seen their women as properties, to be used as they please. For too long, the idea of women's rights have been neglected and ignored. Government and partnering stakeholders are doing their part, but you and I, as individuals, and more importantly as mothers, have a more important role to play. You are the very people who are affected by gender inequality. You are the very people who every gender advocate is fighting for. You have the responsibility to be agents of change. Without a change in you, we cannot achieve a change in the national status on gender equality. Even in the toughest of circumstances, women are working to make peace, to put bread on the table, and to earn their own income. Women's voices need to be heard. We need bold action. That bold action is to rise up and become counted in teaching our children, our sons, our daughters, good manners, to simply respect each other within our families and others outside of families, whether young or old. Teach our sons that violence against women and girls is wrong. The powerful game changer in all this discrimination faced by women and girl children is us, the mothers, the grandmothers. Together we can choose to be liberated or risk becoming just past statistics in our country. With these words, I thank you for having me here today, and I remind you to take up the challenge to make gender equality a reality in Fiji. I wish the community a meaningful International Women's Day, and I thank the Mereseini Mothers Club for putting this very important and meaningful event together this afternoon.